Hey, this is Bev at Creating with Bev here on YouTube, and I'm here today to do a short tutorial on hidden journaling cards or hidden tuck cards, whatever you like to call them. This isn't an original idea of mine, but I have seen several creators do it over the past year, and I just wanted to show you a couple quick little ideas for these two. One, I'm putting a round card inside, and one, I'm putting one of my labels that I like to make, my collage labels, inside as the journaling card. So let's just get started real quick. And these are going to be quite large, so these could be actually used as a standalone um, piece of ephemera or happy mail, or you could put it in your larger books, your books that are, in the 5-inch page range, and it would sit into a pocket, or you could attach it with a paper clip, whatever you like. But this is the larger one, and then I'm going to do one that is smaller that could go into just about any size journal because it's about 2 3/4 by 4. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is put the wrong sides together, what I want to show being the right side. This is double-sided paper. You don't have to use double-sided paper because you're not going to see the center, but I had it, so I'm going to use it. So I'm going to I want to use the wagon wheel side. I think that's pretty. That's going to be my front, and just the plain paper is going to be my back. It could be journal on by itself, or I could add a frame to that later, so we'll see. So I'm going to take these two. They are cut exactly the same. That's very important with these cards, that they are cut exactly the same. And I'm going to just glue the outside edges, as small a bead as I can possibly do, all the way around the card on all 4 sides. And I sometimes don't have a steady hand, but I'm not doing bad today. All 4 sides, and try to keep it as close to the edge as you can. And then you're going to take that card and put your other card right on top, matching up all the sides, making sure everything's matched up nice, and then kind of seal it with your finger, or you can use your bone folder, whatever, get it good and stuck. And then I'm going to let this sit to the side for a minute because you really want it to be stuck well for the next step. And I'm going to go ahead with this one, and I've got 2 pieces of this cardstock. Both of these are scrapbook paper cardstocks. I recommend something with a little bit of body to it, not just a printer paper. So a cardstock of sort, or a scrapbook paper pad, or whatever you have. Good to use a 6x6 or scraps even, as long as the 2 pieces are the same size. So I'm going to take these 2 pieces, and they are 2 3/4 by 4. And I actually think I'm a little off with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it up right now. I don't know how I did that because I did pre-cut these, but I'm going to go ahead and trim that up to match right now. Very important that the 2 pieces be identical for this to really look nice when you're finished. All right, now I'm going to open these up again, put the wrong sides together, and I'm going to put another small bead around the outside of this one on all 4 sides. A little shaky on that one, didn't I? But it's still good as long as you keep it as close as you can to the edge. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not rocket science. I'm going to put that one on top, get it all squared up, and again, I'm going to make sure I've got a good stick on all 4 sides. Now, if you like, you can round the corners. You can round them before you glue or after. Unless you're rounding big corners, then you probably want to glue before. But I'm going to just round some small corners. And if the glue lets loose, I can add a little glue. But I'm going to get those rounded off just because I like to round. And I've got my rounder right here, so why not? And I think I'm still glued down good. Yep, still glued down good. I think I'll do this one too. And I'm using my medium corner on this one, 7mm, but I think my glue is in far enough that it's not going to really matter. But if you want to use big rounds, you probably want to do that before you glue your sides down. I'm glued down nice. All right, so now I've got my two cards, my two main cards, inked all the way around all four edges, and then the two pieces put together. So my right sides are out and my wrong sides are in the inside. And my next step is to cut the cards to make room for the hidden part. So I'm going to take the biggest one first, and I'm going to cut, and there's no science to this. You can cut as far down or up as you want, but you want to leave your card to where you'll be able to journal on it. And it's going to be tucked into the top piece, and then the journaling part will be on the bottom. So I don't want to hide too much of my card into the top. So I'm probably going to cut this about on that line right there where that SIE is. It's not a measurement, but it is a line that I can focus on. So I'm going to go up to that line, come over to the edge so I get a straight cut, and go ahead and cut across. You want to hold it tight, and again, you want to make sure that your sides are all glued down nice before you do it. You can see how I cut it, and when I put it back together, that's how it's going to be hidden. I'll show you the rest in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to cut this one. And I think I'll cut this one up about maybe 2 inches from the top, or 1.5 inches. I'm not really measuring. And do that. So I've got these two pieces, and I'm going to put that to the side. And that's really the most there is to these little cards. Now I like to ink, so I'm going to ink now, and I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Weathered Wood, which is getting a little bit dry, so let me give it a quick spray. I love weathered wood, but I've used it and used it. Give it a quick spray so I can get some nice ink out of there. I love weathered wood, especially on the pinks and the grays. And I don't want to ink on the cut side because you don't want to give away your secret. So only ink on the outside of your card. And even wetting that down, I'm still about out of this. I'm going to have to buy a refill. It's one of my favorite inks. I've used it and used it. You can see it. You can see the effect it has. Just to get rid of that white cut especially. Come on the back and do it there. Down there. And just not inking the cut side. And I'm not going to ink the cut side on the top either. Just going to come the top and the side. So if you're worried you're going to ink on that side, ink it before you cut it, and then you won't have any problem. All right, so that's my card. Those are my two pieces, and this is what I'm going to put inside for my journaling card. It can be written on the back. A picture can be put on the back. It can be put, and listen to me, anything you want to do, but ink that up a little bit. It's really, really low. I'm going to buy that soon. Okay, now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make sure it fits first of all. So I'm going to open up my top. This is where you've glued all four sides, but you haven't glued the middle, so it's all open. And I'm going to slide that in right side up as far as I want it, about like so. And I'm going to see if it fits in my bottom. You want to do that before you glue anything. It fits in really nice. Okay, so I'm going to put a bead of glue right on the top front and the top back to hold it into that top of the main card. Don't need a lot because it's just paper, so it's going to hold. Open that back up, slide that in, make sure it's in the way you want it, as straight as you want it, as crooked as you want it, whatever your desire is. I'm going to line it up with those words to where it's going to at least look visually straight and with the circle there. So the eye will think it's straight whether it is or not. Push it down to stick it. back and the front. And make sure it's nice and dry before you put it inside, because you don't want it to glue into your card and be forever closed. The whole purpose of this is to open and have that little tuck card appear. And just going to slide it in, and when you slide it in, your pattern's going to match up, and you're going to have your little tuck card. That's why it's kind of nice to use a pattern of some sort. If you don't, it's still good. I mean, you can still see it matches up. But I do like to use a pretty good pattern to where you can see it when it's done. So I'm going to leave this ajar just a little bit while I'm finishing, just to make sure that glue doesn't stick shut. And work on this one. Okay, this one we cut the top off of this, and it doesn't have the big pattern, but it does have a little pattern that will match back up. And you can see if you're doing it backwards. You know right away you're doing it backwards. So it will line up the lines on the back, and on the front it will line up that little print a little bit. So on this one, I'm going to ink again, or try to, with a little bit of weathered wood I have left. I suppose if I really want to get an effect, I could use a different one, but I like this. I'll be going to the store and buying another one or a refill very soon. Okay, so I've got those. And now this one, I'm going to put one of these labels that I make myself, and all it is scrapbook paper. The base was scrapbook paper. The next layer was, I believe, another scrapbook paper. Then you can see I've got book page, and I've added some little pieces of ephemera, some music paper. I just like to make labels, so I make my own labels. And I think in this case, it'll fit in there nicely. And I'm going to measure it because it might be a little big, so let's measure it first. I'm going to stick it up here in the top, like so. Get it open there, Bev. That's the hard part, I guess, huh? There we go. And I'm going to put it in there pretty deep because I want it to fit, and this one might be a close call. And I'm going to see if it goes all the way down. If not, I'll have to trim it. But you can make your cards for inside. Oh, it fits nice. And that fits down there nice. And it will be a nice surprise journaling card when someone gets this, whether it's Happy Mail or in a journal. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one in. So I'm going to put some glue on the top and the back. And I'm using Fabrifix. It's my pretty much glue of choice for all my paper crafting. Once in a while I use art glitter glue if I want a quick stick. But in this case, my Fabrifix is fine, and it's right here next to me. And I'm going to go in with that, try to get it centered and as straight as I can get it. Sticking pretty good. And I think that looks straight. So I'm going to push it down. We know it fits. I've already inked around these when I make them, so I don't need ink again. And slide it into the bottom, whoops, the bottom half of the card. And I've got my two hidden journaling cards. A little round one that fits in and matches up to that wheel, and the tag that I put into this one matches up there. And then what you can do to finish it off, you can, of course, you can decorate them more if you want. These are pretty just the way they are, but if they were plain, I would decorate them with stickers and labels and all kinds of little things. But I am going to put a pull on them so that when they're in a book, the person that gets the book realizes that there's activity to this piece. Whenever there's a ribbon or something, it makes a person want to pull or tug on it. And that's what's going to be the giveaway, that there's something inside this. Not sure whether I want to use the blue. I think I want to use this Sari Silk. It's a pretty color, so just cut a little piece of that, and I'm going to put it on the top of my card. Just a little drop there and a little drop there, and hold that down there, and hold it down there for a minute. Let it get a good stick. Takes a minute for that. And then if I wanted to do a little flat, a little pearl or something there, I could. Let me reach for some and I'll show you. I mean, I'm a decorator. If you're not familiar with Create Along with Bev, flower on there, or a little pink bow. You know, I could do anything I want at this point. I could even go in and add bling to it. I kind of like this heart. I think I'm going to do that heart. So that'll put on there with a little dot of my Fabrifix. And whoops, if I can get it in my hand, slide it right up there. And that'll be done. So when that's inside something, or if it's sent as Happy Mail, the person knows to do that, and then they see their surprise when they do it. Line it up nice. Okay, and this one, I'll add a piece of Sari Silk to it too. A little drop of glue on the front, a little drop of glue on the back. And that's a bit big. Let me cut some of that off. Put it there. Hold it down. And there. Hold it down. And I'll put still decoration on this one too. Let's see. Oops. Hold it down, Bev. Don't let it go yet. How about I could find a little pearl to go inside that. It's kind of cute with a little flower with the pearl in the middle. See if I like that. Or if there's something else in here that trips my trigger. No, I think I like that. One thing I'm worried about is that sticking. If I have it inside a book, that's sticking out too far, that bead. So with that in mind, I think I'll go a different direction, just so it's not too thick in my book. And just do a little star on this one. That way, if it's inside a pocket or something, it won't be too obtrusive. Hold that down, put that away and that away. Try to clean up my mess as I go. That away. And they'll be done. So we got this big one with the round card, and that is 4.5 by 6. So that's a good size card. And this one, and it is 2 3/4 by 4. This one. So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial on making these little hidden journaling cards. Some people call them secret tuck cards. Like I said, it's something that's been around a long time, but I do enjoy making them, and I love having people find them in their books and go, oh, look what's inside. Well, I hope you'll make some. If you like it, I hope you'll leave a comment in the comments that you enjoyed it. A thumbs up would be nice, and a subscribe would be nice also. So thank you so much for stopping in, and I hope to see you again on my next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye now.